Welcome. It looks like everyone has been fed, have their food. I'm so glad that you could join us here tonight. My name is Kate Dwyer, and I have the profound honor of leading the Four Way Community Foundation as its executive director. Thank you. I'd like to begin by thanking my board of directors for their hard work and their vision, and for believing in me and supporting me as I guide this venerable foundation to a new level, and for all their hard work on committees and extra meetings. I feel your faith in me, and it energizes me for the work ahead. Thank you so much to our board. And I didn't write down all the names, so we're not going to miss anybody. Brenda Aguilera, Peter Ongstadt, Jan Taylor, oh boy, help me out, guys. John Higgins, Greg Fishwick, Teresa Stover, Brandis Rojo. Who have I forgotten because I'm standing in the spotlight? Speak Up, Sue Orris, Don Welch, Steve Rowe, Deborah Sorensen. Did I get everybody? That's 12. I always have to count. Do I have 12? I should have written them down. Sorry. I'd also like to thank my husband, Mark Dwyer, and my son, Owen, and all his buddies for their support of me in this work that I am so passionate about. And several of them are here tonight, and I am always tasking them. So thank you so much for being willing. I'd like to start I'd like to thank the people who have made this evening possible, beginning with Evergreen Federal Bank. We really love a round of applause for Evergreen Federal Bank. They are one of our sponsors, and they are always above and beyond for our community. So not just the use of this beautiful venue in kind, and not just their sponsorship dollars, and not just the amazing people who work here who jump in and do so much for us, but a banking relationship that is so supportive. And boy, we made such a great move moving to Evergreen Bank. We really appreciate their support. And we'd like to thank Ferguson Wellman Capital Management, to whom we entrust our investments, and Sorensen Ransom and Ferguson Attorneys at Law for their sponsorship. And we'd like to welcome new sponsors, Pacific Power and All Care. And without our generous sponsors, we could not afford to present this event. So we're grateful for their help and their faith in our work and our mission. I'd also like to thank Ernesto, Teresa, Melissa, and Karen, who run the Bear Hotel, and the Celebration Committee, Sue Orris and Don Welch and Steve Rowe, and my tireless assistant, Shelby Kamen. Thank you to the Grants Pass High School Chamber Orchestra and the students from Project Youth Plus, our coordinator, Dina Ingalls, Pura Vida Catering, Tiny Little Bubbles Mobile Bar, Forest Vineyards, Lori Mitchell Photography, Southern Oregon Audio Visual, and John Jones and Joan Starr of Travato Winery for the door prize. And if you haven't had an opportunity to put your slip in for the bowl and the door prize, please do that. And I want to thank Chris Walker and Della Means, and you'll find out why soon, and of course our honoree, Brenda Patton. And our speaker, Michelle Wild-Anderson. Tonight, we honor the spirit of the community that we share by recognizing the work of just one of the many people whose work in caring for their neighbors is exemplary. And this evening is about giving back to you, all of the people, the donors and the supporters who celebrate the work that our nonprofits do to enhance the quality of life here in Josephine County and Western Jackson County. Tonight is really about how we invest in our communities, one monetary gift at a time, one grant at a time, one relationship at a time. And from that web of generosity and trust and reciprocity, we weave together a true community where people are seen and welcomed and their needs are met and they can strive to better themselves and to help each other in turn. It's really about those relationships that we build with each other. Sometimes we don't even know how important that kind word was, that's how we weave a community together. So the Four-Way Community Foundation serves our residents by helping people give back in making financial gifts, large and small, and by designing instruments of giving that are specific and particular to each donor's wishes, and by using the proceeds of investing those gifts to give much-needed grant support locally, as well as to offer our nonprofits mentoring and organizational support, and advocating for our own service area with regional and state funders and agencies. So we'd like to share with you now our impact video and some highlights from our work in 2022. So, Zero, do I just push the button? Nope, you roll them. Okay.
The Four-Way Community Foundation offers grants to nonprofits in Greater Josephine County to make possible so many missions of service. In 2021, Four-Way provided $400,000 in support to more than 50 local drivers of change.
At Greenleaf Industries, people with developmental disabilities have meaningful jobs they love. We build lives, they grow plants. That takes equipment. Four-Way is here for us.
Access to resources requires access. A safe parking lot is easy to take for granted, but without it, we wouldn't be able to serve all the people that we do. Four-Way understands that.
Foundry Village provides shelter and service to some of the most vulnerable people in our community, the homeless and the unsheltered, to provide them help in getting on a successful path to a new life. The sidewalks here at Foundry Village were provided by a grant from Four-Way Foundation.
The Four-Way Community Foundation holds 3 endowments for the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Rogue Valley. These estate gifts provide us with reliable annual income towards operations so that we can focus on the kids we serve.
Max's mission brings life-saving medication and training to where it's needed most. Four-Way helped us buy the car to get us there.
At the Rogue Valley Humane Society, each of our furry friends gets the very best care we can give. Grants and distributions from the Four-Way Community Foundation make that possible.
Project Youth Plus helps aspiring youth overcome barriers. Our doors are open, literally, thanks to Four-Way.
At Josephine County Food Bank, keeping food safe and cold is one unseen step in keeping local families fed. Four-Way provided these shelves so that we can provide milk.
Since 1975, local residents have entrusted their donations and estate gifts to the Four-Way Community Foundation. So their gifts will grow and the community will grow as well.
Local legacies building a shared future. That's Four-Way.
Thank you to all of our grantees who are such great sports and helped us make that video.
The Four-Way Community Foundation offers grants to nonprofits.
Thanks, Zero. Okay, so we're going to show you some of the grantees that we have been working with, and I'm pushing the button, Zero, but I'm not sure where it's supposed to go. Oh, there we go. Oh, wait, did I? Okay, there we go. So our grantees are nonprofits, and many of them are really small, scrappy nonprofits that are all volunteers. Some of them are bigger and have larger infrastructure, but our grants are primarily capital, and that's really a special niche that you as donors are providing for. There just aren't that many foundations that do that, and in order for people to love each other and serve each other, they need stuff. So this is the Spiral Living Center in Tequilma, and these folks go out as volunteers and they get food from farms and gardens that would have gone to waste, and then they process it into ready-to-eat meals for seniors and the disabled, and they also bring food to people who just want the produce, and they do that so cheerfully, but they can't do it without the orchard ladders and the gleaning truck and the Conex container to put all of the buckets and the bus tubs and the supplies in. And they can't afford to do that because, you know, they're all just people who are out there making this happen. So Four-Way is so proud to have provided those things to them so that they can go out and feed their neighbors. These kids are enjoying the B Street bike jumps at Loveless Park. And these were put up by the Rogue Valley Mountain Biking Association, including in their budget a significant grant from the Four-Way Foundation. These kids, they don't know what infrastructure is. They don't know about permits and engineering and getting truckloads of decomposed gravel and how you're going to make this thing happen. All they know is that there is a safe, fun place that they can go with their families, and this is a great place to grow up. The Cave Junction Farmers Market has all these wonderful farmers, and we have provided shade structures for them. Let's just be in the shade while we serve each other, and multiple different grants for the Cave Junction Farmers Market. This is a tremendous economic multiplier. Because of SNAP Double Up Food Bucks and the USDA program, so many families are able to come to the Cave Junction Farmers Market and massively multiply their buying power. And then these small farms are able to offer their products to their neighbors so they can be nourished. This is the Siskiyou Field Institute. Over the years, we have been helping them grant by grant build this outdoor pavilion kitchen where they can host groups like Exchange for Change and youth education, outdoor programming. And it's taken quite a few years. You know, every year they'll come back and they'll say, can we have another $8,000 for this? Can we have another $10,000 for that? And they have a beautiful outdoor kitchen now where they can teach young people about what an amazing environment they live in. And you know, we grow up here, this is such a beautiful place, but there's really a lot of kids here who have never had the opportunity to get out and see why where they grew up is such a spectacular place. And Siskiyou Field Institute is one of the places that makes that possible for them. We last year helped build the Caveman Court at Grants Pass High School, and so these are some kids who were there playing basketball. And the grant that we gave to that came from Charles Van Ice from the Golden Rule Store Fund. And so when Charles Van Ice closed the Golden Rule Store, he gave the residual money to the Four-Way Foundation, and he said, do things that are good for this community and keep the Golden Rule Store in people's minds. And so when we gave this grant, we were able to put the name of the Golden Rule Store on the plaque, and we knew that this was something that Charles Van Ice would have been really proud of because he loved to give things to local kids. And one of the beauties of the Four-Way Community Foundation is that the folks who run this foundation know this community. They knew these people, and as time goes on, we maybe know fewer of them personally, but we also stay in touch all the time with our emeritus board. And I can call Charlie Seagraves, and I can call Mike Murphy, and I can call Steve Swearingen, and I can say, who was this individual I don't have the privilege of knowing? And they can fill me in, and I can read bequests, and I can read the language that they put in their gift, and we can fulfill people's visions over time, which is just such a precious thing that we get to do. This is a new group called Friends of Country Living in Sunny Valley. So we work hard to reach all the corners of our service area, which is what we call Greater Josephine County. So we serve Josephine County and then the western edge of Jackson County that so often gets forgotten by its own county. So Rogue River, Rouge, the Applegate, Gold Hill, we serve them as well. Anything our side of the 123rd line of longitude. But these folks in Sunny Valley, Friends of Country Living, they recognized that isolation was really a problem in their community, and we were able to give them some funds that we passed through from another donor, another foundation, to do a mailing and to survey their community. What would you want to do? What's going to get you out and help you meet other people? And learning to sew and teaching other people to sew was very high on people's list. And so we were able to provide, they connected with sewing machine companies and fabric companies. They got quite a bit of donations. We gave them the nuts and bolts, the cabinets that you put all of this material in and then push it over to the side so that it's not dominating the community space all the time. That's just not something people think about all the time. It's not the most exciting thing to give, but without it, they can't have a multi-use space. So here we have this very intergenerational opportunity where people are teaching each other to sew and having a great time doing it. This is the Josephine County Youth Foundation providing vision clinics to people in our community who can't otherwise afford glasses and eye exams. That device that the student is holding and helping this person with their glasses, that was provided by the Four-Way Community Foundation, and quite a bit of other significant, expensive vision equipment. And these high school kids are trained in how to use that equipment and how to identify problems that need to go over to the other optometrist in the room or ophthalmologist in the room, and which things can be more simply dealt with. And so these kids are actually providing hands-on, eye-to-eye service for people in their community who need glasses, and we're very proud to be able to provide that help. Greenleaf Industries is a favorite for us. They grew the flowers that are on the table. We have a special niche. We have a field of interest fund. And if you want to, you can make a field of interest fund too. Rose Douglas was an educator whose son, Gary, had Down syndrome during a time when he couldn't even go to public school. And she really wanted Josephine County to be a more enriching, loving, fun place for people like her son. And so she left her life savings in the Rose Douglas Fund, and we fund groups that serve people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And because she left that in the care of the Four-Way Board, the board really, several members of our board have quite a bit of expertise in that area. And they go out and they learn more about organizations that are offering these types of services. And as a result, we've been able to grow several new organizations like Crossing Bridges Therapeutic Riding Center and Healing Hearts and Hooves in the Illinois Valley. And this is now a much nicer place for people like Gary to grow up. There's more education, there's more housing, there's more fun jobs. People at Greenleaf Industries love growing plants that enrich your garden, and we love supporting them. The Rogue River Community Center has spent quite the past few years expanding. They have a beautiful new food pantry, they have a thrift store, they have a hot food that they serve to their seniors and people in need in their community. And we're just so pleased to be able to fund them and also to be able to do organizational development support for them. We've helped them with board recruitment. What does it mean to be on a board? Helping them meet other funders in the community, really working with them to be a stronger organization. And this one is, our office is here now. This is the Illinois Valley Family Coalition, and they're putting on a new roof. This is a one-stop center for people who need support. There's all kinds of terrific things here. And I got to say, our coordinator tonight, Dina Engels, where is Dina? Oh, there she is. I'd like some applause for Dina. Thanks, Dina. Sorry to embarrass you. I asked her to coordinate tonight for her many skills, but also because every day I get to hear the quality of the interactions that the Department of Human Services staff in this building has with its clients. Trauma-informed, loving, supportive, comprehensive help. And they are in this building. And so they're getting a new roof. They really needed it, and we helped fund that. And one of the things that we like to say about capital grants is they're about as exciting as watching paint dry. But let me tell you something. When the walls of your building are peeling, and you've got your volunteers, and you've got your paint, and your scraping, and your painting, and Four-Way bought you the supplies, it is very exciting to watch paint dry. Similarly, we are working as an organization on our own infrastructure because it's the infrastructure of organizations that allows them to do the work that they do. And for a great many years, Four-Way was really so frugal that it might not really have been the best thing for our growth. And we are really working on investing in ourselves. So our board developed a strategic plan and committees, and everybody's sleeves are rolled up. And this year, we have revised our articles of incorporation, our bylaws, and all of our major policies, and all of our procedures, and all of our internal controls. And anyone who doesn't think that was a heavy lift is not an executive director of a nonprofit. Our board members are superheroes, and they're doing a tremendous job, and they're working to build this organization so that we can grow. We know we are going to grow. There are a great many bequests, and a great many of you lovely people have left us, and money is going to be coming in, and we're going to be growing, and we need to have the infrastructure in place to support that so that we can do that gracefully and still be serving our community effectively. So we have a new website featuring a bunch of familiar faces. Again, if you think a new website is easy, you don't work in the same thing I work in, but go ahead, you can think that. So we have a nice new website. And we brought together our emeritus board recently. A whole bunch of you came, thank you so much, and took pictures outside of the Performing Arts Center. We have put together a bunch of new tools to make it easier for you to give. We have pledge funds now, so people can take, for instance, their required minimum deposit and make a pledge over the course of years and develop a donor-advised fund or a named endowment fund. Lots of new tools, and really what Four-Way does, you love this town, we love this town, and we're trying to make our gifts as specific as possible. And so what we can offer that no other funder can offer is that not only do we know this community so well, but we know you, and you get to write your gift exactly the way that you want. And so we've written quite a few new tools to make that possible. And we've also recently developed a major gift criteria and major gift policy so that when we have the opportunity to make a big generational impact on our community with a major gift for something that's going to be of incredible value to our whole community, we will be ready to do that. And that has been a goal of this foundation for quite some time. We're also doing a lot of reaching out to other state and regional funders. Because of the relationships that we have been building with the Ford Family Foundation, the Roundhouse Foundation, the Gordon Elwood Foundation, the Marie Lamfrom Foundation, people who, well, other than Ford and Gordon Elwood, had never heard of us a year ago, we have been able to develop quite a number of pass-through gifts. And this year, through those relationships, because those foundations know that we're the ones with the boots on the ground and we know our nonprofit landscape, we were able to double the amount of dollars we turned around to our community this year. And among those dollars were dollars that were given to us for Rum Creek fire relief. And it was interesting to me to see when these groups, through long-term disaster funding organizations, wanted to fund Josephine County, it takes a while. It takes time for that money to get here. But that money is needed right now when the fire is happening. And so they gave us quite a bit of funding, and we distributed some of it right then. In fact, some of it we actually went and deposited in the bank account of a nonprofit that was so busily up there at the fire site that they couldn't even get to the bank, so then they could have money. But what we learned through that is we need to be ready. So we've got all of those organizations that might be jumping in to help. We've got their tax ID numbers and their contact people and all of that. And graciously, these organizations have allowed us to hold on to the remainder of those funds. And unfortunately, we know it's not if, but when the next fire happens, we are going to be able to get those dollars out to our community immediately. And our next big initiative that you're going to be seeing, so when I took this chair, I started reading through the bequests, and the history and the minutes, and I learned, which I hadn't known before, that the Four-Way Community Foundation was instrumental, there's my pun, in the development of the Performing Arts Center. A man named Mel Voorhees left his savings in the care of Four-Way, and he said, our town really needs a performing arts center. Make that happen. And so in 1999, before I ever heard of Four-Way, because I was home with a baby in Tequilma, the high school board was working on the new high school, and the Four-Way Community Foundation board came to them and said, think big. We need a performing arts center for our community, and we have the anchor funding for that. And then the Josephine County Committee for the Performing Arts Center was formed, and many, many businesses and sponsors and kind donors came in, and we made this happen. This facility has, according to the Rogue Valley Symphony, the best acoustics of any facility between Seattle and San Francisco. Well, it's coming up on its 25th anniversary in 2024. So I thought, well, great opportunity. We got to make sure people know that Four-Way was involved in this, right? So we go out there and we start getting involved, and we got the new superintendent of schools, Tim Sweeney, very much on board, and Auslin Group came along and they said, yes, we will go do a facilities assessment, and then they did the facilities assessment. It was a very well-built facility, so